You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, this feels good.
Let's all crack our necks.
Crack.
Let's all take a deep breath in through our nose, out through the mouth.
That's something that probably the main character of this movie that we're going to watch today should have done.
Yes.
The little guided meditation, I think, is beneficial.
We'll get into that. That's what we should do in the middle of this. But for now, let's start the show.
Woo! Welcome
to Our Real Relationships. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Brandon, and we are a husband and wife who like movies. Who'd have thought? What a crazy concept.
And each other most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Brandon, fix the screen over here.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Ugh, divorce. No.
This is why we don't like each other.
He fixed it. We're fine now.
She doesn't get to see herself, and I gotta fix.
I can't see you, so I would just be talking to myself.
That's fine. I always look at myself in the camera too.
Narcissist.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure I'm not looking stupid, which is hard not to do.
No comment.
Yeah. So if you want to hit us up, there's a few ways that you can always contact us. Always. OurRealRelationships@gmail.com. Send us an email. Send us an email if there's
Brandon will check them. I'm terrible at it.
Send an email and give us suggestions, things that you think, like themes for like upcoming holidays, even if they're like the silly holidays, like National Hot Dog Awareness.
You better believe we got National Corn on the Cob Day coming up.
Yeah, we
have a movie picked out for that. So
for you. So if you have any of those that you think would be really cool for us to watch, please do, because our real relationship is also with you, the fine listener.
That's right. That's so nice of you to say that. I love that. And if you want to come on here and talk with us, don't just give us suggestions. Come on in here and give us your voice and bring a movie that you like to watch and talk about it.
But you have to have a good microphone, otherwise, we'll audition you.
There we go. We'll audition your equipment.
Yeah. And then over at Bluesky, Real Relations Pod at Bluesky.social. You do that, and I
still don't know what Bluesky is. I told someone recently it's like Twitter, I think.
Yeah. No, that's a good,
I mean X.
That's a good assessment of things.
Okay, I have no idea.
And then of course Instagram, Our Real Relationships.
Real is REEL.
Yeah,
because movies, guys.
We got to say that every week because
no one knows who we are.
No one knows. I forget every week. How are you doing, my love?
I'm doing well. It's so nice and cool in your office here. Must be because you must keep it cooler in here because you have all this equipment running. Because the rest of the house is a little toasty.
Yeah. Is your office as like cool as this?
No. You have the best room in the house.
That wasn't planned this way. I think what it is Dexter in this office are probably closest to the AC unit that's right outside the window.
So it hits you first?
Yeah.
Nice.
And like the back bedroom takes a while.
The boys in this house are so lucky.
So lucky. And then also like that office over there, like the sun hits it constantly throughout the day.
It does. Plus I'm in there, so it's hot and steamy.
Hell yeah.
Hey-o.
Hell yeah.
Hey, yo.
Well, let's get this.
Is that a good segue to the opening of the movie we watched? It was so hot. It was hot on the freeway.
What movie are we talking about?
We're talking about the movie Falling Down. It is a 1993 movie with Michael Douglas and Robert Duvall. It's rated R, so keep your kids at a safe distance.
Locked indoors.
Our kid did not want to watch this one. He thought it was going to be boring, so we don't have a Dexter segment for this episode.
No, we don't. But we'll make fun of him still.
Yes.
The charity for this episode, we thought about this. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And this being a movie kind of about mental health,
kind of a lot,
we figured like this is a good movie to talk about that. And so the charity we picked is Mental Health America.
Mm-hmm. They're the ones that invented Mental Health Awareness Month. and made May the month of mental health. So many M's. Made May the month of mental health awareness.
And so we figured that's a really good way to honor Mental Health Awareness Month and this movie, to give them a shout out and a little donation. What was the number we decided on?
Well, first, if you want to donate to Mental Health America, you go over to mhanational.org. And because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, you got a few days left. They'll match your donation. We are going with a $50 donation for this week's movie, because he ends up paying 50 cents for a can of Coke. He negotiates very aggressively down from 85 cents to 50 cents. He fights for his consumer rights, busts up the store until he can get that can of Coke for 50 cents.
That's right. We were going to do the 83 cents, so the $83, but then we're like, no, that's too much money.
We try to keep it around 50.
That's too much money for mental health.
Oh, that makes me feel bad now. I was trying to look for a good number. It was like, should we give $405 because they're on the 405 freeway? And then I told myself, no, Chelsea, don't be a dum-dum.
It could have been $40.05.
It could have been. Where were you cents? When I was trying to work that out? You didn't have that input then.
Disagreeing.
You have it now. Thank you for your input now.
Anyways, $50 going to Mental Health America. Yeah. So Falling Down, directed by Joel Schumacher.
Yes.
In 1993, right? I think it's 93.
93, yes.
And starring Michael Douglas in the not the title role,
lead. Yeah, it's not the titular role, but he is the one that is falling down.
Donde Fira.
Oh, the Spanish name for the movie is Un Día de Furia, not Donde, whatever it is you said. Donde means where. Un Día de Furia.
The actual
Furia.
The actual Spaniard in it, and I don't get it right.
I'm white. I'm sure someone you work with will correct me.
Before we get started talking about the rest of the movie, got to pause for the episodic. What is our cocktail of the day? And
I am in the dark about this. What are the drinks?
All right, so the drink for today is I just pulled stuff together, but it's what we've been drinking already.
Good.
Which is grapefruit, a milked grapefruit.
I milk a grapefruit
as we do. And then a little bit of, the rose grapefruit vodka.
That's no sugar. So this is it's a healthy drink.
And so then there's a shot over here.
Oh gosh.
And this is how I themed it. It's the water gun.
Is that a shot of water?
There's soda water and a little bit of vodka in there. And so you just pour it into the cup.
So there's a shot of vodka and soda water, and I'm supposed to pour it into my already alcoholic beverage.
Yep. I told you I'd share this with you.
Oh, okay. But you have a drink. What's yours?
Scotch.
Why?
Because it's a working man.
Is it a working man's drink? Oh, okay. And I got a pretty grapefruit one for it because I'm a girl.
No, you got a water gun.
Oh gosh, here I go. I'm gonna spill it. I did it.
Hey, there you go. And it fizzes just a little bit.
It didn't, but
just a little bit.
That's okay. There's just a tiny bit of fizz, just like our marriage. Oh my god!
Fizzing out.
Cheers. Okay. So yes, this movie was directed by Joel Schumacher. A couple fun things about him. He did 2 Batman movies. I think both the Batman movies he directed have nipples on the batsuit.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's
one
that's
Clooney
true.
And one Kilmer.
Correct.
And I think he was nominated for a Razzie for Batman and Robin, the Clooney one.
Batman and Robin is such a bad movie. Batman Forever is so the Batman Forever, the Schumacher cut is actually coming out in theaters. It's
really?
Because supposedly the word on the street is that the studio stepped in and they're like, hey, we want you to do this, we want you to do that, we want you to do that. And so a lot of the cheese kind of came from that.
He wasn't in it. He wanted to do a serious, dark Batman movie, and they made him make it fun and family friendly.
Yeah, they're like, get Jim Carrey in there.
Which, to be honest, in 1993, Jim Carrey, Hot Stuff, was like, this movie's going to be amazing because Jim Carrey's in it.
Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones, the comedic powerhouse that he is, we really need to put him in there. He's
known for it. All his time on In Living Color.
This is my happy face.
So he did those two. He directed those two Batman movies. Those were maybe some people's least favorites.
Yeah,
which is kind of
I do like Batman Forever though. It's one of those guilty pleasures, especially when Robin at the end is like, "Holy rusted metal, Batman." He's like, "What?" It's
played by Chris O'Donnell. That Robin.
Yeah,
is Alicia Silverstone in that one?
No, she's in Batman and Robin.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
we're talking about different ones.
Yeah, I'm talking about Batman Forever. Robin is in Batman Forever.
Played by Chris O'Donnell in both.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, that's confusing because he was with two different Batmen.
Yeah.
So they should have changed the Robins.
Yeah, they should have.
Anyway, that's not the movie we're talking about this week.
We're falling down a rabbit hole.
We are. Nice. I like it. The movie was written by a fella named Ebby Rose Smith. This is the only movie he wrote, and he won an Edgar Allan Poe Award for it.
Huh? What is? Do you know what the Edgar Allan Poe Award is?
It's about yay big. It's probably shaped like a raven.
What it is, not how much it weighs.
It is probably for writing, because Edgar Allan Poe was a writer.
Yeah. Okay.
Or doing your cousin. Maybe he got an award for that.
Did he do his cousin? He wrote Great Balls of Fire too.
Lots of famous people have done their cousins.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about that either. No, that's a different episode.
So this is the only movie that he
wrote a teleplay and a screenplay, but this is the only movie that he wrote.
Huh, interesting. I wonder why that is, right? Because this movie is, we told people that we're going to watch Falling Down, and like it sticks in their minds.
Really?
It's one of those movies that like some of it sticks in their minds.
Yeah, I will say, I'm like, ooh, I like that movie. And then as we were watching it for the first time in, I don't know, 15-ish years, maybe more, I was like, I don't remember this at all. The only thing I remembered was that he had a shotgun, and I remembered thinking that I should be rooting for him. But then I watched it this time and I was like, oh no, he's not a good guy.
No.
Oopsie.
He's the protagonist, but this is a good example of a story where the protagonist is not the good guy.
Yeah. Victim or villain or both.
Yeah. I mean, so what do you think about that question?
Well, I think he starts out. Do we need to even say the plot? I don't know, but
yeah, let's do.
He starts out, you feel he's a victim. You empathize with him. He's in a traffic jam. Everyone can relate to that. It's really hot. His AC is not working. There's a fucking fly in his car. It's on his neck, and he's all sweaty, and the fly is crawling through the sweat. And it's gross. It's awful. And there's kids in the bus next to him. All the cars are really close together in this traffic jam.
4 or 5.
There's a Garfield suction cup in the car in front of us. That's terrifying. He finally just gives. He's like, I can't take it anymore. He gets out of his car.
I can't take this Garfield.
His car. And he goes on a day. He has a day where he's just like, the Coca-Cola costs too much. They stopped serving breakfast at Whammy Burger. His wife doesn't want him to come over to his daughter's birthday. It's
the hamburger doesn't look like the picture.
There's a hole in the bottom of his shoe. It's just one thing after another. And so the poor guy is just, it's a whole day of him just breaking down, really, but it's called falling down. But I would call it breaking down because even the cars, but whatever. Yeah. I didn't name it.
Yeah. I'd call it Freeway.
There's a movie called Freeway.
Yeah, with Reese Witherspoon.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
So you start out kind of, okay, I get why this guy is, he's losing his mind. And
I get it, bro.
He just wants enough money. It's like, here, can you give me change for the payphone? And the guy's like, not unless you buy something. It's just these little things keep adding up. But I think he officially, I think I turn against him at the point when he goes to the Whammy Burger and they stop serving breakfast, which is frustrating. They stop serving at 11:30. It's 11:33. And then he takes a gun out. Like, okay, I probably wouldn't. This is the part where we're different. I would not have reacted that way.
Yeah, before that, when he goes into the liquor store asking for that can of Coke just to get change, right? He asks for change so he can try to call his estranged wife,
which you don't know at that point that it's his ex-wife. He just says, my wife, I got to go home to my wife and daughter.
Yeah. And the guy doesn't want to give him change. It says you have to buy something. And so he's like, okay, well, let me go get a Coke. And then he's like, it's so hot. And by the way, the scenes where it's demonstrating how hot it is.
It feels so hot.
It feels so hot, especially on the freeway. There's like the when you're looking at asphalt, like a super hot day, and you can see the wavy
like the haze,
the heat lines. Mm-hmm. Like they did a good job of capturing that on the freeway too.
And his window roller is broken. He doesn't have automatic windows. His poor little 1993 car. It's probably not even. The movie's 1993. His car's probably not.
No, I think
AC's broken.
It's like a Pinto.
I don't know.
Which is a notoriously crappy car. But yeah, and then like the can on the Coke, going back to the heat, and he's just like, he's just cooling off.
On his face.
He's trying to cool off.
Yeah.
Right? And this guy, and then that's like when the first time he like really breaks is like, okay, well, this is too much for me.
Yeah. Everything's too expensive in here, and so he just smashes everything to shit.
Yeah. So as we go through the movie, with hero and what are the options?
Victim, villain, or both.
Victim, villain, or both. Yeah, I think he is
he slowly turns into more of a villain.
Good villains are compelling, and they have, you can empathize with them to some extent.
Yeah,
I
think even all the way through, you still feel bad for him, but he does. He kind of goes overboard, and eventually you hear from his wife. She's talking to the police and saying that he has propensity for violence, that he never hit her, but she was afraid that he might someday. He just had a temper. And so you're learning a little bit more about his personality. You're kind of going, getting a bigger picture. Okay, maybe he wasn't as, maybe he didn't snap today. Maybe he snapped before this movie started, and we're just already seeing him past snap point.
Yeah, this is the one day that we see of his life, but we do find out that he is a defense contractor, an ex-defense contractor, because he was like fired a month before. Mm-hmm. And then his mom is like, where's he been going every day?
Where has he been going?
Where?
I don't know, because the only time you ever see what's inside his briefcase, there's an apple and a sandwich and like a bottle of water. Yeah. So he's been going somewhere and just eating his lunch.
Yeah. Where's he eating his lunch at?
I don't know. Not on the 405. He was going somewhere else. No. I bet you he was going to his ex-wife's house and just sitting outside and watching their house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because he's kind of cuckoo.
He's kind of cuckoo bananas.
Which is not a nice way to say for Mental Health Awareness Month.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Be sure to donate.
Please donate. Yes. Mental health is a real thing and is very serious.
The story of him not having seen this movie until today, in like decades probably. I knew the story of like, okay, he's breaking, and then he's going to end up on the pier for the end of the film, with the water gun. And
I didn't remember that at all.
So I remember like all of like the kind of vignettes of where he's going. I didn't remember him being such a chaotic, evil or kind of character.
Yeah, I remembered him being more empathetic, more of a melancholy and sad instead of so violent. I didn't remember how violent he was.
Yeah, and I think like when it starts, you remember the beginning. He breaks. It's like, oh man, yeah, yes. I feel that. And it ends in some way. You're like, poor guy. He just wanted to have a good day.
I know. He was just trying to get to his daughter.
But then you watch it again. You're like, oh yeah, there's all this other stuff, and it progresses throughout the movie where he is your point of view character. So of course we're trained to kind of empathize immediately with the point of view
He
character.
fires a bazooka in public at one point, and it's hard to go back from that.
But I mean, the kid was helping him out.
The kid thought they were shooting a movie.
But the kid thought he was pretty cool. So
ironically, Michael Douglas is the UN messenger of peace. He was awarded that in 1998 by Netanyahu. Oh no, that was a different. He was awarded the Genesis Prize by Netanyahu, which has to do with inclusion and diversity in Jewish life.
Huh.
So he has all these charities and all these different. This is like ambassadors for all these different peaceful programs, and this might be his best role, in my opinion, because he's the least Michael Douglas-y in this movie.
Yeah,
he's really embodies this other person the best in this movie than he does in like Romancing the Stone or Ant-Man.
Yeah, the scenes where it's just like it's watching his face as he's reacting to stuff, like when he's watching like when the gangbangers are can we say is that a thing? Whatever,
Gangsters,
the gangsters, they are telling him not to trespass on their land, and and they're like, see that sign that says you're not welcome here and you're trespassing, so you need to leave. And he's like, is that what that says? But as they're like threatening him, it's just like it's kind of on his face, and like he's like kind of looking at them both, and he's like, hey,
kind of in disbelief that he's even in trouble for something.
Yeah, it's like I'll just walk away, guys. And then they're like, no, give me you need to pay a toll, give us your briefcase. And just his face turns, and he's like, I was going to just treat everybody like a man and leave, but and then he breaks again. I think it's awesome, all of those kind of close-ups on Michael Douglas, because he conveys a lot of emotion.
Different location that he goes to, he has like an extra, like a new moment of breaking down again, where it's like, now this situation didn't work out, now this situation, and it just keeps on happening.
And we've all had those days, right, where it's like
I haven't had a day like that.
No, yeah.
I've never been that bad.
But the day, well, I mean, that's why we had to move.
Never shot anybody.
That's why we had to move away from Florida, Chelsea.
It's because I wouldn't shoot anybody. Michael Douglas was in a gang when he was a teenager.
Really?
Called the Downshifters. They stole cars.
That's like Gone in 60 Seconds, or It's Always Sunny.
It's like West Side Story is like, hey, we're the Downshifters. Hey.
Or It's Always Sunny with Frank and his old gang. And they're just
old gang.
Yeah, they're just singing doo-wop.
That's right.
Anyway, we've had days where it's there's nothing inherently bad about the day, but you're just in such a mood where like, I stubbed my toe. Damn it. Okay. Oh, I dropped my pencil. What the heck?
Okay, so this is every day for me so far. Yeah. I run into things constantly, drop things constantly.
But like all of those things, however minor they might be on a regular day, all those things happen on one day, and you're like, all of this is happening. Why is this happening to me today? And
the thing with mental health is that some people just handle it differently than other people.
Yeah.
And enter Robert Duvall, who's kind of his foil in this movie. He's like the mirror image of Michael Douglas's character in this. They both white shirt and a tie, but one's a cop. Robert Duvall is on his last day. He's retiring. His last day as a cop. And he is patient, and he never curses, and he has a way of easing people's nerves and calming them down and laughing about things, even when it's stressful. And then you have the opposite of Michael Douglas, which I think his character's name in the movie is William Foster, but in the credits he's listed as Defense because that's his license plate.
Yeah, I think that you're talking about the mirror of those characters. Perfect example of those two kind of approaches to it. Duvall talking to Defense's mom, and the one cop who's from Total Recall.
Her actual name is Rachel. Oh boy, I don't want to say it wrong.
Okay, Rachel.
It's Rachel. Ticketin. Let's call it that. Ticotin.
Yeah, Vicodin. She's talking to the mom, and she's trying to get the mom to give information. The mom's like, she's not comfortable with them being there. And Robert Duvall is like looking at the mom's figurines. Yeah. It's like, oh, which one of these do you like? Which one's your favorite? It's like, oh, it's a penguin. You know,
skunk.
A skunk. That's right. Skunk. You know, that's not even paint. That stripe is inside the glass. And
he's able to disarm people.
Yes. Now that act of disarming kind of genuine kindness, even though he has, other intentions by being nice, mirror that with the whammy burger, where Michael Douglas recognizes that he's like scared a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And there's that moment where he's like, yeah, okay, well, I'm just going to be friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
he shoots the gun on accident. It was an accident, you guys. Like, calm down.
Calm. And he's like,
why is everybody freaking out?
How are you enjoying your meal?
She threw up.
He's like, well,
looks like we have a critic.
Like that awkward, trying, but doesn't have that sense of empathy
or calm or he's definitely seems like a nervous fella. Yeah. He is very anxious, and he makes people around him feel that tension.
And he around the kids, the kids are, you notice this, or the movie, like whenever there's a kid involved, he's more apt to like be calm around the kid.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah. The family in the back of the plastic surgeon's house, like even he's kind of still crazy, he's still probably a little bit softer with the girl. Like
it kind of brings him back to reality for a minute to see another little girl. It reminds him of his own little girl, and he realizes like what he's doing for a second.
The little kid in the whammy burger. It's like, what's wrong with this picture? Can anybody tell me what's wrong with this picture? And the one kid raises his hand.
I know.
The bazooka kid.
Kids get him. Kids are like, I get you, bro. Yeah. You're having a hard day.
And then two other kid moments. Obviously, like right at the beginning, there's all the kids on the school bus, and then there's the one girl who's stuck in traffic, just like kind of staring at him. And then I think right after he gets the can of Coke, or maybe before, like he sees like a little girl kind of in the distance, like across the park, and like there's a moment of something going on in his head about that. So I thought all
like a loss of innocence. Is
this a Swedish film?
Oh, no, it's not. It's not. That was my film final project, and school is over. Woo! Summer break. Robert Duvall's character is named Prendergast, by the way, and that is a hard name to write over and over again when you're taking notes for a movie. So I was just calling him P or Duvall. But Prendergast. Oof, what a name. Robert Duvall, his film debut was in To Kill a Mockingbird as Boo Radley, and he didn't even have any lines in that movie, I don't think.
Huh.
But sure set him on a good path.
The actual movie with Gregory Peck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. He was also in The Twilight Zone.
Which one?
Season 4, episode.
Oh my gosh. That was more than I thought you were going to give.
I forget it. It's like where there's a dollhouse. It's one of those hour-long episodes.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Uh-huh. There, your Twilight.
That was a good piece of information.
Your Twilight Zone minute. Yeah.
And the ex-wife, we find out it's the ex-wife played by Barbara Hershey that everyone might know best from Beaches. That was really the only thing. She was in The Last Temptation of Christ. She played Mary Magdalene. You've seen Last Temptation of Christ.
I haven't seen Last Temptation.
Yes, you have. It's with Willem Dafoe.
No.
You and I both watched it.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I thought you had seen it.
No, I don't. I don't like Christian movies. joking. But no, I've never seen Last Temptation of Christ.
It's really good.
I should have. But,
you should.
And she was the only person who was the only like leading lady who was in 2 Scorsese movies.
Which ones?
Last Temptation of Christ.
That's a Scorsese movie?
Yeah.
Oh, why do you know that about it?
Because I'm a film nerd. Just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean I don't know about it.
Okay, fair.
And then the one before that was like Barnyard Blues. Barnyard Blues or something like that.
No, Biloxi Blues.
No. It's a Scorsese movie I'd never seen before. But she's the one who handed him the book for Last Temptation of Christ, and that's I'm assuming why he is.
He cast her in it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's a good movie.
Now I'm gonna look it up to make sure I'm not.
Okay. So, also, this movie has been compared to a few other movies, thematically, I guess. Joker, which, by the way, gets shown in a lot of psych classes, college classes, because it's supposedly one of the closest depictions of mental illness that exists in the movies. I heard that somewhere. I'm just going to repeat it like it's true. But Joker, Taxi Driver, King of Comedy.
Yep.
And Death Wish. I don't know if that is in the same vein, but it is. I don't know. It's kind of like can you empathize with this person or not? Because he's doing something wrong. It's the moral ambiguity of it.
Yeah. Death Wish, I don't know if I would agree with that, because he's very explicitly going over the people who killed his family or daughter. So like that's one thing.
Okay.
But like I agree with Taxi Driver, falling down, Joker, and
King of Comedy.
King of Comedy, because it is like those characters are just. The ambiguity is there. Like they're the, again, point of view characters, but
they have had a tough go, and then their reaction is bigger than maybe is allowed by the law. But there are definitely some people who could see how they got there.
Yeah. What's the Joker comparison is interesting with all, like, remember when Joker came out?
Not the one with Lady Gaga.
No, not Folly de Fou or whatever. But the first one, when that came out, there was the shooting in Aurora, Colorado. Mm-hmm. Was it Aurora? I think it was Aurora.
I'm pretty sure it was Colorado.
Yeah. Up near Denver. It was during the Joker shooting. And so a lot of people were like, this movie glorifies violence and all that type of stuff.
Boo.
But there's aspects of this movie, right, that kind of are still there.
You could claim the same thing.
Yeah, because he's lashing out about these things that people have complained about, right? I think my mom has complained about the picture of a hamburger.
I thought of her when I'm like, she gonna send that hamburger back.
We thought about, like, this is why is a Snickers bar $1.50 now? It used to be 50 cents right? Everyone's complained about this stuff. And so then it's like, do we want to glorify this particular character, even though he's saying
he's fighting the system,
saying things we think?
Yeah.
Is that really who we want to be?
Right.
So, are there moments in this movie that you're like, that one, I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
I did have a moment where I even like nodded my head and was like, yes, get him. When he went off on the golfers, he climbs a fence, he goes into a golf course. He just wants to cross the golf course and be on his way. And there's two old white guys golfing there, and they're, get off my golf course. You're not even dressed regulation wear. And he must be a gardener. Well, he's not wearing the right uniform. Then they're very self-righteous and snooty. And he's like, I just want to cross this golf course. And they're like, no, get off my golf course. And then they hit a golf ball.
Go back the way you came.
They miss him with the golf ball. And then he shoots their golf cart. And I'm like, yes, shoot the golf cart. And then the old guy has a heart attack, and his pills are on the golf cart that went into the lake. And it's like, wah, wah. And I was like, I have had those thoughts about golf courses before, where it's like, this could be a park. This could be housing. This could be something else, but it's just for you to play your little game. Sorry, golfers. But that's how I feel sometimes about golf courses.
You could have families here having picnics. Instead, you're doing this, and then I do agree with that moment, but because
those guys are such jerks.
And
he's like, "Don't you wish you'd just let me cross now?"
Now you're gonna die with that stupid little hat.
Yeah, and his collar's all popped.
Yeah,
too. That old man's collar, his peach polo shirt.
What do you kind of going back real quickly about like the glorification of violence and stuff like that. The Nazi warehouse.
I think his name is Nazi Nick.
Oh, Nazi Nick.
Which, if you're gonna be a Nazi, then you should have a alliterative name. I think Nazi Nick is the way to go.
Yeah, good job, Nazi Nick. But the
owner of the Army Surplus Store.
He goes. Michael Douglas goes in there. The guy has been listening to the police scanner, recognizes him immediately, and then is like, "Yeah, he's one of us. He's fighting against the system of these people, right?
Mm-hmm. All of the people are different from us.
Yeah, and
which I don't know how much I like this weird stereotype that people who run a military surplus store have like a Nazi back room. That seems to be like a common stereotype. And I don't know what is with that, but there's always some kind of back storeroom with a bunch of Nazi memorabilia in it.
Yeah. So if you are an Army surplus store owner, just to let you know, we don't think you're a Nazi.
Not yet.
Unless you prove us otherwise.
Unless your name also starts with an N or like, Nazi Nancy.
Like, Nancy, I'm
I knew it.
I'm eyeing you. But like the idea that somebody who's gone into violence is automatically like welcomed by a Nazi.
And then he's offended by that. Like, how dare you? I'm not your kind of violent. Michael Douglas is like, you're crazy. I'm a patriot. Which I just had to do in my speech class. There was some quote about how patriotism gets used a lot of times to disguise bad behavior. And so it made me think of that quote. I can't remember the quote exactly, but that was Michael Douglas's thing. Like, I'm being patriotic. You're crazy.
Yeah. There's the argument, maybe kind of pedantic argument about nationalism versus patriotism, whereas like patriotism is caring about your country even though you know it has problems, whereas nationalism is the blind like our country is better than your country type of thing,
right?
So yeah, I can see like the quote that you're referencing kind of
it applies sometimes.
Yeah, excusing bad behavior as I'm wearing a Miami Dolphins Air Force or military shirt, military awareness support shirt. I just wanted to have the flag on there, just
is that why you put that on?
Yeah, just to let everybody know that I love America
and the Dolphins
and the Dolphins. Anywho, what else you got for us in there?
Oh gosh, what were we just talking about?
We're talking about the Nazi Nick and
Nazi Nick,
and just assuming that you're bad people. Good, you're my bad
I know people. Nazi Nick though, he went the extra mile for him. I didn't realize that he knew who Michael Douglas was until the female police officer came in and started looking for Michael Douglas, and Nazi Nick pushes the gym bag full of guns underneath the dressing room curtain and closes it a little bit, and you can tell that's when I could tell that he knew who he was and he was hiding him on purpose. And so I was kind of like, oh, that's nice.
Oh,
see, even Nazi Nick did a nice thing.
And he gave him a bazooka. That's really good. The
other thing I wanted to bring up was the score.
Okay.
And here's why.
Let's do it.
What did you notice about it? Because I noticed nothing. And so one of my things about this movie is like, is the score so in sync with the movie that it's invisible? Because I don't remember anything about the score or the music of the movie. I remember that at the beginning, I was trying to pay attention. There was it builds at the beginning. when he's getting annoyed by all these little things, the fly and the heat and the traffic jam and all this kind of thing. But then after that, like I was just so lost in the movie that I didn't notice any music after that. Did you?
No, not really, not particularly. I think maybe like the ending, maybe like a couple like interstitial kind of scenes of like, oh, now we're looking at the city, or like, oh, we're seeing them drive. Oh, Duvall's walking up the hill to see the sign, like defense, you know.
So do you think that makes it a good score? Like how you don't really notice if editing is done right, you don't notice it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you think that applies to a score, that if it's done perfectly in sync with the movie, that you don't really notice it, you just kind of feel it along with the movie?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's it's like when you're falling asleep to TV, like to a movie.
Never happens.
Never happens. But if it did, you might be like, the TV's too loud. I can't. I know it's on. It's too loud, and I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. But if it's like right at the right volume, it's like it's there, but it's not there, and you can like I have an easier time going to sleep. But if it's like a scotch higher,
that's true.
It messes
I wish
me
there
up.
were like a 2.5 on our volume thing, but there's not. It's either like, here's my volume. I'm at a 2. I'm at a 3. Like, no, I need you to be at like
smaller,
a 2.17.
Smaller increments. Samsung.
I'm so spoiled. But so that was one of my things, was that I didn't notice the score, and I was surprised by that because we were just having a discussion about how I am weirdly in tune to the music in a movie, and I was ready to listen to it, and I didn't hear it.
In tune.
Okay. Yeah. TOON.
Yeah, I know, because I know that's the thing you look for. I know like you're big on it, and you're good with noticing the scores, and
I look forward to listening to the score.
And so even with you looking for it not being so in your face,
I guess I was just like not focused. Like I wasn't focused on it at all. Either that, or maybe it just didn't complement the movie as well. You know, that there are definitely movies I'm watching and I love the movie, but then the music swells and you're like, ooh, that's a good chord or something. I don't know what nerds like me say, things like that. I love that chord. That's a G minor.
But there was never a part in the movie other than the beginning that like jumped out at you like that, or even took you out of the movie.
Nope.
That I think that's
just kind of hidden in there, and I'd have to rewatch the movie honestly to tell you how much of it is even scored.
Do you I had a question there of that's you listened to the score on Spotify earlier.
I was listening to an INXS song because Joel Schumacher directed he directed a few music videos, and one of them was an INXS music video, and I was like, what's that song? So I listened to the INXS song because I didn't know it, because it is called stalling for time. No, Devil Inside.
Oh, Devil Inside. A Devil Inside.
He did that. I think he did a Smashing Pumpkins one. And then a couple others, but so that's why I was listening to, and I think he did Kiss from a Rose, the music video for Kiss from a Rose.
Remember when directors came from music videos?
I don't.
That's at least 2.
I don't remember that because
him and David Fincher.
And they were friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I read anyway.
Spike Jonze.
I don't know if he was friends with them.
No. I'm sorry, not the friends thing, but just music videos.
Can we talk about one line in the movie that both of us like went, oh, like we looked at each other? Hey, go ahead. You know what line I'm talking about, so you can go ahead. No, I want you to do it because I remember that's right. All right, I remember. The story that reminded me of you and Mr. Steen.
Yeah, shit. So yeah, there's
they're throwing the going
so
away.
Robert Duvall he's married. His wife is kind of she's kind of she seems reclusive a little bit.
She's having her own mental health issues.
Nervous. And so she's calling him throughout the day. She's like, come home early. They don't need you. And his partner, Vicodin is saying, hey, Nicole?
Rachel. Her last name is spelled Ticotin.
Yeah.
So you say it however you want.
Yeah. So she's like asking him, like, do you really want to retire to Lake Havasu? That's not really you. And just kind of trying to understand like why Duvall's character has just been sitting behind a desk instead of being like on the street doing cop work.
He's a good cop.
And eventually he says to his partner, like, I haven't told you this, but I love my wife. And then a little bit later, like his wife is being nervous again.
She's being a little bit like me. Like I was like, oh no, do I call Brandon at work and like you? You'd never do that, because I'd probably respond how Duvall responded to her and was like, shut up.
Have dinner ready for me. I'll be home when I'm home. And that was like the first moment of the movie where he pushed back on her and took a little bit of charge, right?
You can tell that she has struggles and that he struggles with her struggles.
Yeah. Right after that, as they're leaving, this is towards the climax of the movie. They throw him a surprise retirement party with a cake and a stripper and all that type of stuff.
That's the only music I recognize. The Stripogram song, by the way, with the stripper.
And so he's like, thanks, guy. And they put a little cowboy hat on him. And he's like, thanks, guy. I appreciate what you got to do, but I can't do this right now. I gotta go. And one of the cops, who's super obnoxious throughout the whole movie, what he says,
they say something about him being you're afraid of women too, because he leaves the stripper. Like, sorry, I got to leave the stripper. You're afraid of women too. And the one guy says, have you met his wife? Both of us are like, oh.
Yeah, he did it again, thinking about it.
I know. I was like, oh, that's such a no-no. It's such a no-no to say that.
That's such a no-no.
And it was. And he got bopped in the nose.
Got bopped in the nose by Duvall. And, like, I will say this. I think I would punch a motherfucker in the nose if he said that.
I don't blame you. That's especially in like a room full of people like that too. It's kind of like an off limits.
And I'm not violent. I'm not defense in this.
Not movie. A nose bopper by nature.
No nose bopper.
You're no nose bopper.
But you know, Chelsea, I could get defensive too. Of
defense.
Yeah. And I'm friendly, but don't you
talk about my woman that way.
Yeah, or steal my son's red vines.
Oh my goodness. It's not. That's another day.
Yeah. Anyway, so he does that. And that line, like when I was a kid, I made a stupid joke because I thought we're all just joking around. Ha ha ha. And then
you were like a teenager still,
like
probably
19, 20. And he was my friend. And he
was in his 40s.
Yep. He's like, don't you ever fucking say that again. And it was a bad joke about his wife. And I learned then that those things are off limits.
Yeah.
So
that was a line that really like, oh yeah, it hurt. It hurt to hear it because you're like, you knew that it was the wrong thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, bopped.
So the ending.
Okay.
The ending of the movie.
Issue.
Yeah.
The wife takes the daughter, ex-wife, and she goes to escape and she runs to the end of a pier. There's nowhere to go from there. That was my issue. Like, why would you not run, I don't know, anywhere else but like to a dead end? That's where she went. The only thing that I can do now is dive into the ocean.
I agree with that. The extra step I agree with that I want to explore is she's calmly very calmly buying a hot dog and like, oh, you want some mayonnaise or mustard, honey?
Some people put mayonnaise on their hot dog.
You want some mustard, honey?
I know. She's dressing a hot dog.
You're running away.
She was running like a second earlier. They were running down the pier.
You're running away from your ex-husband who you're afraid of him.
But see, the thing is, she got to the end and then she's like, all I can do now is run back to the beginning of the pier and then I'll probably pass him. So might as well buy a hot dog.
Here you go, honey.
She's like, we have nowhere to go. We're going to die here. What do you want for your last meal? Hot dog? Got it.
Yeah. And also like, probably that's where he's going to look for you.
Yeah. So that was my issue with that was like, maybe you're bad at escaping, Barbara Hershey.
Yeah. You escaped from him, but then you let yourself get caught at the end of a pier. What'd you think about the water gun?
So he's doing I could tell he was going to do the whole death by cop thing where he's going to pretend he has a gun so that he gets shot and killed because he doesn't want to live anymore. But I forgot, or maybe I didn't see, or maybe they didn't show that he put the water gun in his pocket.
They didn't. No.
So that didn't even occur to me that he had anything in his pocket. I thought he was just going to reach in there and pull out like his fingers, like finger guns, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And then get shot and die, which I was also like, couldn't Robert Duvall just shoot him, like incapacitate him, not kill him? Like if someone's got a gun, you just shoot them in the shoulder. I don't know. I've never been a cop, but he didn't. He shot him to death.
He did. He didn't. And also at that point in time, he lost the draw.
Well, Robert Duvall got water gunned in the face.
I'm saying, Duvall lost the draw.
He would have died.
He would have died. So Duvall, assuming that Douglas had an actual gun, he had to assume that there was an actual gun. He had to shoot to kill at that point in time. Otherwise, he would have been shot right in the face.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered though. Then he still would have got shot. So
yeah. So as far as like incapacitating him, he wouldn't have had the chance. It was a split. Although he could have probably been like, "Don't do this," bah! And then shot his arm, shot his shoulder or something like that.
Yeah, before he had a chance to pull out whatever was in his pocket.
Yeah. But Duvall was also nervous because this was his last day, and his wife didn't want him to get shot. And that's the earlier in like the early retirement scenes. They're talking about like, some guy like died on his last day.
Yeah, they were giving him all these horror stories.
Shopping cart or whatever.
A shopping cart.
I don't remember what they. I
don't remember that bit.
But so like, I think about that too. Of like, he doesn't want to meet that like curse of the last day. One thing,
and then he shoots Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas falls dead into the Pacific Ocean. Falling down into it. And then I was just like, well, now the water's dirty for everybody. That was one of my thoughts. He fell in the water and he's bleeding in the water. And I'm like, well, now it's not safe for the kids to go in the waters. Now there's bacteria in it.
But that's what Duvall says as he's like trying to calm Michael Douglas down, is like,
they say this water is poison anymore.
Like, people can't swim in it anymore because of the bacteria. Like, I used to fish here. Can you believe it? Tell me if you agree or disagree with not telling your daughter that her father was shot in a
It's her birthday and a bunch of kids still made it through whatever police line and showed up at her front door with presents. So I probably wouldn't tell what did she seem like? She was maybe like 8 or something. Maybe even younger, 6.
Yeah.
My 6-year-old daughter on her birthday, as her guests are showing up with presents, I wouldn't be like, by the way, remember your dad? He's not coming. I probably wouldn't choose to tell her that day.
Okay. That daughter, she must be really stupid because she was also on the pier. She was also on the pier when her dad got shot by this cop. Like, where's daddy? Oh, he's
Well, hopefully
swimming.
her mom was shielding her from the view.
But you made the comment. She's like, why'd she let go of her daughter's hand?
I know, they showed the mom down there talking, waving her arms and everything. He's down there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, how would you even let go of your baby girl at that point? Like, I would just keep running. Get off the pier, lady. Nothing good can happen for you here.
The thing I don't like is not about the pier. It's Robert Duvall's end, the end of his arc for the film. He's talking to the daughter, and he's like,
"What's your name?
What's your name?" It's Mud. Like, well, it's no. He's like, no, it is. Once my wife finds out I'm still a cop.
Right. I was going to ask you about that too. Do you think he's decided to not retire now?
That's what I caught from it.
He's like, I'm too good at this and I love it.
He's like, I support my wife. I love my wife. And he talks throughout the whole movie of like her sacrificing herself for him over and over again. And then the very end of the movie, assuming he is going to stay a cop, he's like, yeah, well, never mind all those sacrifices she makes. She's going to have to keep sacrificing for my career.
You know what he says about his wife? I wrote it down because I was like, ouch, Robert Duvall. He was telling his partner or whoever that Rachel person is, but in the movie, her name is Sandra. He's telling her about his wife and how beautiful she used to be. And he says, and I quote, "It's not easy to see your beauty go when that's all you've got." Good Lord. That's a terrible thing to say about his wife that he loves so much. And so she had a baby and lost her figure for him. Wah, wah, wah. And it's just a strange thing to put in the movie.
Like, I don't agree with you, sir. I don't agree. You had it, and then you lost it.
And so, by the way, speaking of the mirror image between Duvall and Douglas, they both have lost their little girls. Duvall's little girl died when she was 2-ish. And Douglas has lost his little girl through the divorce and the restraining order. So there are so many similarities between the two of them.
Yeah.
Similarities and then oppositions.
Yeah. Fathers, white men in white shirts and ties.
Government workers.
Driving crappy cars.
I wanted to talk about real quick. I know we have to wrap up pretty soon. The gangsters that go after Michael Douglas because he trespasses on their property or whatever. They've got their gang sign there and it says no trespassing in whatever gang sign they have there. Then so he beats them up with a bat. It is not hard to do. He does it really easily. These two guys, he beats them up with a bat. Then they decide to come back later. They track him down. They find him. They're going to do a drive-by shooting and they spray bullets everywhere while Michael Douglas is standing at a payphone and everyone around him gets hit with a bullet except for Michael Douglas. Then after they miss their one person they're shooting at, they crash the car. One of them dies and the other one is in critical condition. I'm like, these are the worst gangsters I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't glorify being a gangster.
You need to aim better.
I know.
Oops, I missed too.
That was the part where I still liked Michael Douglas and he goes over to them and he's kind of smirking and he's like, "You missed." And it made me laugh a little bit because you don't know that he's completely gone at this point. You're just like, they did miss. But then you find out that they like killed a baby and everything. Like, terrible. But I don't know. He doesn't even move the whole time they're shooting. He just stands at the payphone and they never hit him.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. Idiots. They suck. They're not good shooters. They need to work on the
out of the gang.
Take some target practice.
You're not in the gang anymore.
The last thing I want to say about Michael Douglas and that character, the scene where he's watching the home video of like there's it's him. He's seeing his daughter as she's so young. It's her birthday. His wife. They're still married. And the first couple of times we see a scene with him watching it, it's like it's happy, right? Like things are nice and happy, and he's like kind of smiling and is like, my family. I love my family.
Yeah.
And then he hears himself being an asshole to them, and like not realizing that he's
put her on the goddamn horse.
He's torturing her, torturing his daughter through his wife to get on the horse. And like you see a spark of realization there that then goes away again. But there is a moment where he's like, oh, am I the bad guy?
Yeah.
Which is what he says at the very end. He's like, I'm
the bad guy after everything, but yeah.
And so,
kinda, but you did bad things.
Him and Nazi Nick, like Nazi Nick is a bad guy. And you may not have thought you were the bad guy because you were taking out a Nazi, the only person he kills in the whole movie. But just because
I feel like Michael Douglas turned bad guy officially when, so the gangsters crash their car and one of them was kind of hanging out of the car and he comes by and he says, "You missed me." And then he shoots him in the leg. Like, so that's I think the point of crossover for me, where he became actively doing something like.
I agree with that. I think what I'm just saying is just there's gradients of being the bad guy. Like Nazi Nick, obviously a bad guy.
Sure.
But Douglas's character is not at that level of being a piece of shit. But that doesn't mean that he's not a bad guy. And that's what he realizes at the end. There are the shades of gray. And
how many?
At least one.
Between 1 and 50, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see what you're doing.
I thought you were going to give it to me, but you didn't.
No.
I had to take it.
I was going to give it to you just like 50 Shades of Grey.
No, too late now.
You damn it. Shazbot. Well, anyway, final thoughts, Chelsea, on this film?
Notice that I'm torn about Dexter watching it or not. There were parts towards the beginning where I was like, he can watch this movie. This is fine. And then it got to the Nazi Nick kind of parts when I was like, yeah, he probably didn't need to watch this movie. He'll be fine. He'll be ready for the next movie. I'm pretty sure for Memorial Day, we're watching Rambo.
You waited for me to
I was waiting for you to say the rest just to make sure we weren't watching Raving Private Ryan. We're not. We're watching Rambo. So that's what we'll be watching for Memorial Day next week.
That's right. Sylvester Stallone. First Blood.
Richard Crenna. Not First Blood Part 2, which is the stupidest title of a movie I ever heard. Yeah,
Richard Crenna, who's a fantastic actor.
Brian Dennehy.
Yeah, Dennehy's great. It's gonna be good. It'll be a great movie to talk about. I love that movie. So
yeah, it's a good movie. Dexter will watch that one.
We will make him watch that one because he needs to see Stallone when he was so cool.
Be a part of your country.
Yeah, just like the Miami Dolphins. All right. Well, everybody go tell your friends, family, write us an email, send us some social media stuff. Hit us up because we want to hear from you and we want to watch movies that you want to watch and we want to build these relationships. And remember this week's charity, Mental Health America.
MHAnational.org.
Woo! Well, until Memorial Day.
We love you.
We love you. I am Brandon.
I'm Chelsea.
See you later.
See ya. Oh, pray for my mental health. Music helps everybody breathe in. Breathe out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out.